Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be hopping into our first match of the losers bracket. It is going to be the fantastic matchup of desRow versus Semper, and I believe map vetoes and everything have already been done. We are just waiting to get started with things.
Yes, they have. Looks like the maps are Dusk Towers, I believe was the first
Dusk Towers
one.
was one of the maps.
There.
I did see that. And of course, Lairlike Crest is going to be map number 2. Prion Terraces, first time we may see Prion Terraces if it goes to a game 3.
Yes, yeah. Big if. I think Semper's got to be feeling pretty confident in his chances against desRow.
You know, I think so. Semper was looking so strong. But I will say desRow was also looking pretty strong. I still have faith. I still have belief that desRow can make it work. It's yet another PvT, and I think that his early game can definitely make it work. I'm really surprised, though, that Prion Terrace has made it into the map pool for a PvT, like even as game 3.
It's a little interesting.
With desRow specifically.
Yeah. And the other thing to note is for Terran versus Protoss, as far as how Semper is feeling, he said that it's his weakest matchup.
Yeah, it is sort of funny how that works out, but we are going to be jumping into it, introducing the players after the pause. desRow wanting an admin. Of course, they wait until the exact moment that we go into the game.
Perfectly timed.
Yeah.
desRow knows this timing. He's been studying our broadcasting style, and he's really paying attention. And he says, "What's the timing? Okay, here," and he manages to perfectly get that as soon as we get into the game.
Yeah, Semper just sipping on some water. He's like, I want to get this game started, man. I want to get this game on the road.
Yeah, it's just
it's a long route through the losers bracket. Even in a 8-player tournament, that's still a decent number of matches you have to play. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 matches to win the whole thing.
Yes, and if you do make it to the grand finals through that loser bracket, you're going to start down 1-0 in a best of 7.
In that grand finals match, a little bit difficult, and of course we I guess should mention, you know, the players that are in the winners bracket right now. Masa versus Scarlet going to be one of the winners semifinals, as well as Neeb versus Puck, the other one. A great PvP I'm looking forward to. Interesting.
Both Americans actually advancing. So despite our best efforts, Canada has not destroyed America yet.
Yeah, you guys have not managed to do that to us yet. You know, live strong, breathe free. That's one of our mottos.
Home of the Whopper?
Home of the Whopper.
Yeah.
I was going to say home of the land of the free, but
that would have been good.
But that actually does set us up for a winners winners finals that's going to be Canada versus America.
Yes.
We will both have we'll balance each other out on our biases.
We'll see. I mean, we'll work hard not to. But
oh no, I mean, like, I'm going full bias. There's two Protoss players that is going to play a guaranteed Protoss in the winners finals, and they're going to be American. I mean, dude, I'm not going to be able to hold it back.
That's what I meant. I was going to go full bias as well.
Okay.
So there you go. We will be.
So I'm sure you're hoping, you know, if Scarlet wins, then you're straight on. You got a Zerg that's a Canadian.
Yep. It's perfect for me.
Although, you know, Scarlet has been playing quite a bit of Protoss today.
Ooh, she has.
She has. I think even Huck was giving her some coaching. Or I think Huck said he tried to give her coaching, but Scarlet wouldn't listen to it. But she'd still win anyways. And this is not even like on some platinum level account or something. It's actually on a grandmaster level account. So a little funny how that works out.
So we are going to be getting into the game. Looks like spawning up on the top right of Dusk Towers. It is the green Terran player from Gravity. It's Semper. With that handsome logo right there.
Team Gravity.
GRAV.
GRF. But down here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the orange Protoss player, the Panda Protoss. Give it up for desRow.
Sporting that giant. What is
Death Star?
Is that a? That's no moon.
No, that's like one of those balls that you use in what kind of game?
Bowling.
No, there's far too many holes in that.
No, that's how I bowl.
What kind of bowling alleys do you go to? When the ridges start causing problems?
Very crooked ones, yeah.
Very crooked ones.
Yeah, they. I cheat a lot.
You cheat. You leave the bumpers on.
I leave the bumpers on. I tie all the pins together.
Oh, God.
So I just need to knock down
one of those people.
One of those people. But I knight us every game.
Let's take a look at, you know, the last couple times these two players have played against each other and see, you know, where they're sitting on everything. as we do have the stats. And desRow, I mean, I'm not going to say this offensively, but not too surprising. 1 win, 4 losses. Semper has an 80% win rate, but that is not a lot of games to sample from.
No, that's a pretty small matchup. He has taken a game off of Semper, despite the fact that Semper is a very good player. That's kind of a big deal. People have talked about Semper in Legacy of the Void for some time, since the beta, really, as being an excellent player. And desRow is definitely going to have an uphill battle against this Terran player from Montreal.
I think that's totally fair to say. And yeah, the last time those stats also come mostly from, I believe, the Team Gravity Fight Night from 2015. So, it's a long time ago. Still had a lot of opportunities for things to change. I'm interested to see where things go, but we do have pretty macro-oriented play coming out from both these players. We have a bunker coming out on the low ground for Semper, maybe looking to grab that fast third expansion, but also that fast tech up to factory that he is so well known for now.
Yeah, that bunker on the low ground is just going to protect him from any kind of pylon, adept, mothership core pressure that desRow might put on. desRow not really known for that, but Semper saying, you know what, I haven't seen anything. I feel like I'm the more confident player. I'm just going to play safely. And you can see from his scouting pattern, he's looking for everything. desRow just scouting. Actually, I think he sees the factory with that shade, I do believe. He definitely would have seen the reactor. Yeah, he does see the factory building, so that's a nice scout for desRow.
Yeah, confirms it with the second adept shade.
That he didn't cancel the factory and throw down, I don't know, six more
racks.
racks. Yeah. TLO style.
TLO style, yeah, man. You remember from back in those days.
Ooh, did he get a look at the Twilight Council? Hard to say. No, just outside of his vision. Oh, I like that. The head shake from our observer. Shout out to Endersword over there.
Big shout out to Endersword. And even desRow. desRow did a great job with the observing earlier on.
Yeah, he did. My man.
My man.
Slow down.
But it's sort of funny that Semper not only did not see the Twilight Council, but he didn't see the robotics facility either. So he is really sitting in the dark, and that means that he's got to play very defensively with his Marines. He maybe has to be on a little bit careful as he does throw down the scan, saying, okay, I do need to make sure I don't just die to something.
Yeah, desRow going for the very similar build to what he did last time with that 3-gate blink. I believe his third Nexus is a little bit faster before that second and third gateway, but still going for the same overall style that he did on this map versus Masa. We do see a Cyclone from Semper moving across the map.
Safety Cyclone becoming a bit more of an offensive Cyclone. This is actually a cute little thing you can do. You do have to be really, really careful about it, but if you ever encounter an Adept, you can easily kill that Adept. Really not taking a whole lot of damage. The Stalkers, it gets a little bit iffier, but yeah, that's going to be one free Adept kill.
That's pretty nice. Barely taking any damage at all on that Cyclone. Feels like I'm watching Nathanius right now with this Cyclone. Maybe we'll see 3 or 4 more.
Maybe the upgrade? No, I don't think so. Not anytime soon. Maybe on Arena, but I don't think we've seen Arena today.
No, and I don't think we will ever. That map needs to die in a fire.
No, I love that map. Whoa, though.
Oh,
this
big
medevac
on the medevac.
Yeah, losing the medevac and only getting 3 Marines. I don't think that desRow's going to lose a single unit here. Maybe that's one Stalker, but no. Cyclone gets pushed back.
Yeah, that was nice. He broke the leash on that Cyclone. And that is a really good trade for desRow.
That is a fantastic trade. You have to remember, Semper is a player that really wants to have those medevacs out so he can continue the harassment. And now his next unit out is not another medevac, it's a Liberator that's been coming out. So now there's a sudden downtime period where desRow doesn't have to worry about harassment.
Yeah, desRow once again going for that Fast Storm and Resonating Glaives as well as +1. Really looking, I'm going to assume that he'll be pumping out Immortal soon. Really looking for that Storm, Immortal, anchor composition.
Did that War Prism? I think he just barely may have caught a glimpse of that Liberator. I'm not entirely sure, but yes, I think he did, because he's throwing down that pylon behind his main mineral line. He's getting set up to do the photon overcharges and make sure he can defend against Liberator harassment.
That's a nice decision. Going to be able to push it back, and the Mothership Core even in position. If you can time it so that you cast photon overcharge at the same time that they start to siege, you're going to gun down that Liberator almost every time.
Yeah, but Liberator does scout out those pylons at the same time. desRow putting on that pressure once again. Blink Stalker is going to be able to hopefully get out of here without taking any sort of real damage.
Oh, he's got to blink away. There. Nicely done.
And doesn't lose a single Stalker. He's only lost that single Adept the Cyclone killed earlier on.
I don't think he even lost any hull, which is very nice. Ooh, he could have picked off that Liberator, but doesn't quite. A bit of a miss rally from Semper, but doesn't quite come the way that desRow would have liked.
No, not
and
quite.
Not that free kill he would have been looking for.
Yeah, but desRow still moving on in. He's moving on to Adepts this time with the Warp Prism on the right-hand side of the map, looking for an opportunity to move in and get some damage done. There's a ESChamp siege up, but kind of weirdly enough, if he dropped into the 3rd expansion, he might actually end up killing some of his own workers.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Is going to go for the natural though. Sees that it's undefended. Going to start picking off workers. Already at 3 killed. Sees the location of the engineering base. Oh, that is a beautiful wall in from Semper, and that's going to keep those Adepts from doing any more damage. Going to pick off 1, 2.
Doesn't end up canceling that either. A bit of a mistake from desRow, but yeah, killing 5 workers and losing 2 of the Adepts, not too terrible. And yeah, he's going to be able to move on in, kill off 1 or 2 more workers.
Actually getting some nice value from those last Adepts because of the...
Oh, the Liberator on the other side of the map, though, does manage to kill off a couple of workers before he gets double flipped and overcharged.
I think that was actually a worthwhile trade for desRow. Does cast 2 overcharges, so that's a little bit expensive on that energy. It'll make drops a little bit more dangerous for the next little bit, but desRow still getting the cost efficiency trade. 1-1 about to finish. It'll make it so those Adepts no longer 2-shot Marines and Marines and SEVs because of the +1.
Indeed, but of course we are going to be seeing Semper move on out, scanning, I think, expecting that there's an observer around here, but desRow, sneaky guy, has his observer slightly further to the right, is going to be breathing a sigh of relief as he keeps that alive, doesn't have to remake that and can continue to make more Immortals, but oh my god, Storm is finished up, and oh, money scan, seeing the High Templar moving around, and Semper suddenly says, actually, I don't want to be here right now.
You know what? I'm not feeling so comfortable out here.
I'm going to leave.
Good decision from Semper. And yeah, as you said, money scan. desRow getting up for set up for another drop with that Warp Prism.
But this 4th from desRow is in a weird position to me. Because yeah, I can kind of see he doesn't want to take that low ground 4th because think about it. The low ground 4th makes it so easy for your opponent to move from the 4th expansion to the main base or the natural expansion so quickly.
It's not just that, but also the tanks from the high ground are very good with that tank evac, and Semper does like to add in tanks to the composition. desRow did scout that with the Adept drop, but that Adept placed perfectly to spot this quad medevac drop. Ooh, got to be careful about those Widow Mines. Does blink away.
Yeah. But, you know, this is a small army, and the rest of the army is actually coming in, or a handful of Marauders and Marines moving down the center of the map. At the same time, Warp Prism coming in, and it's being chased by a Viking. These Adepts maybe forfeit with their lives to try and get some damage on. Kill off 4 workers, not too bad, but we're going to try and warp in some more Adepts, and that actually works out quite well.
Yeah, going to be doing quite a bit of damage in the natural of desRow. Meanwhile, this is a weird little... desRow loses track of it, and wow. Weird storm. Looked like it was going to hit everything, but doesn't quite do it. A lot of damage on both sides of the map.
He is doing a lot more damage on the other side of the map, though. That is the thing, is even though he loses track of some of his units, he's controlling those Adepts on the other side of the map. He's killed off 17 workers. It's 62 to 53, which isn't devastating yet for Semper, but desRow is getting a lot done, especially considering how much earlier his 4th expansion is.
Down the medevac with all the units in it.
So close to getting that one last medevac, but still very good damage. desRow has been on top of these drops.
Yes, he has. desRow is looking so cost efficient right now. Over 2,000 less minerals lost by desRow. Got so many High Templar on the map. His upgrades are looking good. He is looking so pristine in this game.
And not only that, but he's got the double Stargate finished up. He's getting up a fleet beacon. There aren't even Liberators out on the map, and he's already prepared to deal with a Liberator transition.
Yeah, this is really nice. Dusk Towers is such a good map for Tempest versus Terran. Well, let's be real. Dusk Towers is such a good map for Tempest versus all. Does lose a Stalker or 2. But nice Storm, going to zone out that Marine Marauder army. Not going to take any more losses than he needs to.
Oh, this choke point has been a victim to so many deaths as we end up seeing some good storms going down.
Storms on that BIOS set of units.
Yeah, I mean, pretty decent storms over there, I'd say. He's going to want to keep those High Templars alive, though. Let them regenerate some of the energy. I don't think he wants to make a ton of these Archons just yet, because I don't think he wants to push in just yet. I think he's still, trying to set up that Warp Prism in a nice place so he can move in at the front and also drop at the back.
I think he just... the best decision right now would be keep a couple Templar in his bases, deal with drops, have some cannons, and just keep Semper off of a 5th base. And while he goes up to Tempest and try and get a 5th base of his own. Does actually see this drop on the left side. might be able to run it down, kind of coming in from a lot of different angles.
Yeah, running it down is a
There's
really
the
good way to
blink.
put it. Oh, blink forward takes out one of the medevacs. These units are stimming and running for their lives. A single adept is going to be like, hey, what's up, guy?
Oh, that Templar on the high ground, though. Big storms on the army from the back.
But it looks like the ghosts do survive. Most of it does survive, and the Tempests are going to get picked up. And desRow is really far out of position. Oh, no, this is going to be so painful. Because now at the same time, the drop at the top side comes back into the fourth expansion. Storm's going down. He's going to be able to deal with this drop eventually. But again, he's losing his fourth expansion in the meanwhile.
Yeah, this is just beautiful multitask from Semper. Going to be targeting down Gravitic Drive.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, the speed upgrade, I believe.
He's going to be able to keep his fourth expansion alive. It's just barely alive. The Marines are trying to take out the High Templars.
Just barely can't be healed up by that medevac.
Yeah.
Semper's, he's very far down in supply right now. He's over 30 supply down in army. He did not kill anything crucial there.
He's sacrificed a lot of units to try and kill off that fourth expansion. Got it very low on health, but ended up at the end.
Where are those Liberators going? He needs those to defend. He's heading up for a big drop, I feel, in the main base. And if desRow can sniff this out, he is going to have a very, very good attack opportunity. Yeah,
luckily those medevacs do not have a lot of energy, so even if they get fed back, it's not going to be a complete doom and destruction. But
desRow with the Observer.
Oh, this Observer is so important. And you can see he's pulling his army back already. He's sending the Tempest over there. He's getting ready to deal with this.
This is just a great read from desRow.
Yeah, and dropping in the main base with some of these these adepts, gonna do a little bit of damage, killing off 3 workers, not too bad. But here we go, big drop comes in. The Tempests are already ready and waiting, taking out some of those Liberators.
This is a huge loss for Semper. Losing even just 1 or 2, let alone 4 Liberators is going to be very big. Not even killing anything really of note. Starting to get some nice hits with those Liberation
gotta be
zones.
Careful with these Tempests. I mean, Tempests can hold their own for a little bit, but you do have to be careful when it gets to this number. And there's still some Liberators that are doing some damage to these Adepts and the Immortals.
desRow, you got to target fire down those Liberators, buddy. And we do see the medevacs amazingly escaping with their lives. They've seen some stuff. Meanwhile, yeah, we have Marine Marauder coming up to the 5th base of desRow. There's nothing here.
There
Attack
is
move.
Absolutely nothing. Not even a pylon to warp in. There is a High Templar coming in from the side, but is the storm going to be enough? It has one more, I believe. There it is.
Oh, really nice
enough.
storms.
Kills
MVP Templar. Oh, but the Tempest caught out of position by the quasi 4th base of desRow.
It is
going to pick off 2 of them. Nicely done. That is a really nice pickup for Semper. Meanwhile, Semper actually gets more Marines over on the left side of the map. Not going to be enough to take this down. The Adepts are going to defend.
Oh, boy. We're seeing a kind of scrappy style right now out of Semper, but I would say that it's starting to spiral further and further into desRow's favor, just because he's building up that big army, the big power units, even those Immortals staying alive this entire time, getting out those High Templars. This is going to be a really scary pushing, though, with the Liberators now coming in again at this 4th expansion. Oh,
there's Templar in that War Prism. That is a big loss. Semper getting into a great position. Are we going to see a base trade right now? desRow, no, he decides to come home. Looks like he will be abandoning this position outside of Semper's force. Nice storm.
Storm's going down, getting some good damage done, killing off a lot of the bio forces, and desRow once again retreating back. I really wish he was just segmenting off little bits of this army to do harassment, but I guess most of his Adepts have been taken out at this point.
Yeah, he kind of, I don't think he felt confident with just a small army. He did end up having enough with the warp in of Stalkers and Charge Lots, but he didn't realize that at the time. And as a result, Semper is now on 5 base versus desRow's 4. And we do see desRow finally taking that pocket expansion.
Yeah, I really do like this, especially even though there's been a lot of harassment out of Semper. It hasn't really been with the Siege Tank so much as it's really just been with the Bio Forces and even the Liberators. But here we go. desRow getting up into that nice little area. This is actually the same thing that happened to him, where he managed to get caught a bit out of position. And now we see Semper getting caught out of position, potentially.
Only thing about this is that's a planetary fortress, but with so many Immortals plugging
away.
There's
Immortals
the storm.
Oh, the storm zoning out. Never mind, those Immortals are totally fine.
Nice blink forward, going to target down a Viking, but those tanks actually doing a lot of damage. desRow target firing them down, nicely done.
Yeah, Immortals all at the front right now, though, and the Hardened Shields are gone. They're going to be dying very, very quickly. A lot of the Immortals end up falling, and even the Tempest starting to fall. At this point, desRow doesn't have any more storms. He's actually running a little bit dry.
Yeah, Semper able to finally overtake that army. desRow just overstaying his welcome a little bit.
I'm starting to wonder, he had a nice little bank of minerals and gas, and I feel like his warp gates were off of cooldown unless he was dealing with some sort of harassment. There is this Liberator over by his 4th expansion. I kind of feel like maybe desRow, if he had a Warp Prism over there, been able to reinforce immediately, he may have been able to do a little bit better in that engagement.
That's definitely a possibility, but as it was, Semper able to get the big arc on that army, finally able to collapse in on it and take down the big Immortal Tempest Storm army from desRow.
This is a scary moment as the big Doom Drop comes in. Once again, Semper is fearless with these big Doom Drops as he moves with all of his Vikings and his Medivacs.
I like that.
The Ghosts also kind of interestingly enough sitting up at that 5th expansion, but the Archons should be able to deal with this. Oh, Archon's getting great damage on that. Oh boy. Well, this is a sort of weird skirmish over here. The Stalker's not quite enough to deal with the Bioforces, but the Archons, once they get into the mix, even with some EMPs, I actually feel like desRow has enough, but he needs to defend this 5th. He needs to make sure he doesn't die.
Yeah, and that's going to be a tall order. Does actually lose that base. Nicely sniped from Semper.
Single Tempest shot killing off one of those Medivacs that has he's actually target firing down some of the Medivacs that have a lot of units in them. Oh, Semper not paying attention anymore. Where is his attention? His attention is over at that 4th expansion where the Zealots managed to kill off the Marines. And wow, what a crazy, crazy game. And yes, Semper has reestablished that 5th expansion, but I believe that is his main orbital command that he floated over.
We do have the resources lost being almost even after an 18.5-minute game. That is just crazy.
They're only 500 apart.
Oh, nice Liberation Zone set up on this, really this only main mining base from desRow, and even it is missing 2 of its mineral patches. Nicely done. Blinkstalkers come and clean that up.
Yeah, this is getting to that weird situation where as the game goes on, it sort of just feels harder and harder for desRow to defend all of these very spread out expansions. And desRow is, I think, struggling a little bit with that. Semper's loving it.
Tempest.
That is a bit painful. These are expensive units. I don't really think desRow has the economy to replace any of them.
No, not at all. Every Tempest lost is... it really hurts. But to be fair, there are not a lot of Liberators on the map. Yeah. But we do see 4 being built at a time by Semper. Finally, with the reestablishment of that base.
This Bioforce getting a lot of splash damage done by those Archons, and even if they let those High Templars get anywhere close to them, they're just going to be dying instantly to the Storm.
We do have a double drop coming in from Semper into the attempt at a rebuild from desRow, but 2 High Templar in the back. Oh, nice. Semper spots it and is going to parachute on top of those Templar.
Yeah, High Templars, do they even have enough energy? No, just barely got enough energy for a Storm now, and the Zealots are going to try and tank a bit, but Semper's already pre-split up. At the same time, desRow focusing his efforts on that orbital command over the 4th as CVs are repairing it, and a couple of units are coming in from the backside, but the Storm is so beautifully good that he manages to push back a lot of this force. It just doesn't seem like it's going to be enough, though.
Yeah, Semper is definitely looking like he's going to take this game, cleaning up that attack, and there's the GG.
Semper, wow, with some very, very scary moments over there, sitting down in supply quite a few times, manages to bring it back and take the game.
That was really back and forth. Lot of heart from both players there.
Yeah.
Anytime you could have felt, got to throw in the towel, but they just said, no, I'm not giving up. Particularly Semper, he was always had a backup plan with those drops, always moving in multiple places at once. But credit to desRow, he dealt with that really nicely.
Yeah, definitely did a very, very good job. It's so funny seeing both of the players kind of sitting there a little bit stone-faced, even Semper. But I think it's just, as you were saying, it's like the heart was all in the game, and when it's over, all you feel is really, you're not even feeling like, oh man, this joy and happiness. You're just like, it's done.
Yeah. All right.
All right, game 2.
Yeah. I get 10 seconds off until the next time I have to do that for 20 minutes straight. Yeah.
Yeah, what a game number 1. What a way to start off this series. And I think that definitely should, end any sort of doubt for a lot of people saying, what, desRow doesn't stand any chance in this tournament. And of course, this is the losers bracket. desRow is 1 map away from being knocked out. But if I had to say, what, desRow has a chance, desRow has more than just a chance.
Oh, absolutely. I think anyone who watched that game would be a fool to say that this is an easy 2-0 for Semper. Semper looked good in that game, but desRow had the lead for a lot of that game.
Yes, I would definitely agree. And it's really only when he started getting more, it's sort of this irony, right? desRow feels more and more comfortable as he gets into the later and later stages of the game, but as he gets into the later stages of the game, he gets more and more spread out because that's just the way Legacy of the Void works. Your economies, you're mining out so much faster. And that's when Semper starts, abusing him because Semper feels more comfortable when his opponent's more spread out.
Yeah, absolutely. It's it really played into both of their hands there.
Yeah,
but
it played into both of their hands. That's
yeah,
a good way to put it.
But it looks like Semper just barely able to
eke it out.
Yeah, out-task.
Out-task. That's actually a good way of putting it. And I would even just say, at some points, out-positioned because desRow, it's, I have to hand it to desRow. He did a great job of doing something that is a lot harder than it looks, which is leaving 1 or 2 High Templars at every one of those bases. Yeah, okay, the act of leaving a High Templar at every base is not difficult. But being on top of it, that as soon as the drop comes in, you have that High Templar ready to go into storm before it just immediately gets picked off. That is actually pretty APM intensive to do. And desRow did a great job of that, but his army as a whole always tended to stick together, which, is pretty typical for Protoss, but I feel like that did in the end sort of end up hurting him.
It did a little bit, yeah. Particularly, there was one point where he had just killed off Semper's 5th base, and he didn't pull back, but it ended up costing him the game.
Absolutely. But ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be hopping into the next game, Laralak Crescent, just a little bit. But I want to remind you guys, of course, to give a huge, huge shout out and give some love to our sponsors. Of course, Corsair Gaming, making a lot of this event possible, just making so much of this happen. And of course, I do want to also remind you guys that if you want to check out the Indiegogo that you guys can find over in the chat. I think Moobot is posting that link in the chat over and over and over again. You guys can throw a little bit of support over there if you want to support the tournament and add a bit to the prize pool.